And happy Monster Mash month. I'm Eileen Roche from Dime, and I am just thrilled to welcome you to today's episode of Between Friends. We have a lot in store for you today. It's all about holiday stitching. And yes, we're going to do Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. A little something for everybody. You know, a couple years ago, I had a new product that was lace charms. And so if we could just flip over to PowerPoint. And I'll show you 2 5-star reviews that we got on that. We had Sandra Bowles say that these charms are so cute and fun. She's a beginner embroiderer and found the charms easy to make, and especially as one of her first projects. And then, of course, Karen, she also said she loves these charms because they're so versatile and she can find a lot of uses for them. Well, my guest today, I must say that she jumped into those charms and boy, she had a whole lot of fun with it. And my guest today is Aine McCarthy. She's a dime educator, and we're going to be talking all about holiday stitching. And yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of freestanding lace because a lot of freestanding charms because it's super fun. So let's go ahead and welcome in Aine.
Hi. Hello, Eileen.
How are you?
I'm so thrilled to be invited to be part of this program. I watch it every week and I enjoy it so much and enjoy the guests that you have on and feel privileged that I can be a guest.
Oh, well, I'm just thrilled to have you. It's been quite a while since you were here, like maybe 2 years. I don't know. It's a long time.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I think we were all wearing face masks back then.
I know we probably were, but that's behind us, hopefully somewhat. But, you know, when the first Lace Charms collection came out, you did some really clever things with it. You added rhinestones, you incorporated variegated thread, you added some fringe in places that I didn't think we should put, to put fringe in. And so anyway, just so much fun. So today we're back with a new product, which is a new lace collection, right?
Yes. I was so tickled when I found out that you were going to bring out the next rendition of these great lace charms, because as you said, they were so fun. And now these are all kind of based for the holidays and perfect timing so that we can sew these out for all the fall and winter holidays.
Right. And, because they stitch so quickly, I mean, literally you can make them, the day before you need them or that morning, depending on what else you have in store. But, in the original Lace Charms, they weren't really holiday based. We had a couple Christmas items in there, but nothing for Thanksgiving, nothing for Halloween. So this time we thought, people had asked, can we need more charms? So here we are. And it's a great deal. So you get 27 charms.
Mm-hmm.
And actually in 2 versions, so it's really 54 because you get 27 without an eyelet and the same 27 with an eyelet. And that's really helpful because sometimes you want to hang them in different ways, right?
Absolutely. And that's why, and I'll tell you, Eileen, just like the first charm collection, I couldn't stop stitching these because they are so cute. Yeah. They're such a quick sew, as many people said, and you can do so much with them. And again, without an eyelet, you can do a lot with them. And with an eyelet, you can hang them just about anywhere you want.
I know, it's really fun. And so, of course, on the packaging, we show them as Christmas ornaments, but also we've have wrapped them around some trick-or-treat bags and so forth. But I know you have some amazing samples that you want to show us. So
I do. I know. I'm like excited. Can I show you what I made? Can I show you what I made out of? Okay,
Absolutely.
so let's go to my camera. And as I said, I couldn't stop stitching this because look at this new collection. We've got Halloween, we've got fall, we've got Christmas, we've got a number of fall holidays and look at the Halloween, perfect for now. So we've got the jack-o'-lantern, we've got a spider web with a spider.
Yeah.
My favorite, cute little black cat, the witch's hat, and a candy corn. That is so cool. And
Right.
then
Yeah,
go ahead.
it's really amazing to me, like the spider and spider web, those tiny little satins, they really hold their shape. It's amazing.
Look at these. Look at these. His legs are just, this is freestanding lace.
Yeah,
It's not stitched on anything.
I know. So cool.
And then, of course, we've got these beautiful fall collections. So I stitched out apples in 2 different colors, a beautiful leaf, this absolutely exquisite maple leaf. And
Mhm.
see, this is just gorgeous.
And
Look
so
at that.
what did you add mylar or is that in the Kingstar metallic?
On this one, I put mylar underneath that so you can just see a little hint of
Yeah.
glitter underneath that gorgeous fall color.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just
And
gorgeous.
then look at these great Christmas ones.
No.
And as you said, now this is where you can really bling these up because look at
Mhm.
this. You can do rhinestones right here on the gift package. You
Yeah.
can do metallic thread on those beautiful bells.
Yeah.
You can add rhinestones, rhinestones and metallic thread. It never can be enough bling. And then look at this one on mylar,
Wow.
Kingstar metallic thread, and Aurora Borealis rhinestones.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
What a great combination,
I
Aine.
know it. I know it.
Yeah.
And then so in so many of these, iconic Christmas
Yeah.
designs. And here's
Right.
one that's sewn, without an eyelet, and you can do
Yep.
that cute little snowman.
Sure.
And you can even sew some of these. They look great in these different colors, but look at what you can do with some of these specialty threads. You can sew these out in the monochromatic, like these brand new colors of Kingstar that I sewed these out with.
It's so pretty.
It's
And
so
you
pretty.
told me pink is the hot color for Christmas this
Pink, you
year.
guys. I mean, is it the Barbie-thon? I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. It's a Barbie mania, but pink is one of the it colors. And,
Right.
these designs really take on a different look when you
Yeah.
sew them in that single color.
Right.
But I'm telling you, Eileen, these are center because these are little mittens with a
Yeah.
matching hat.
Yeah.
Now, I increased the size of these. I changed the size, and I
Mhm.
did this in our free embroidery tool shed software course. And
Yeah.
I used one of our brand new medley variegated polyester threads,
Ah,
and it looks like it is a hand knit sweater.
isn't that is so cool. It's
Isn't
so
that
cool.
cool? And
And
in fact, I used the color plate kit, which
okay.
has the matching solid color. So I didn't have to worry about finding the right orange or the right
Yeah.
blue. In the color play, it's all right there.
Right. Well, interestingly enough, Alexandria Span says that, ugh, all I have right now is my machine that is limited to a 4x4 until her other one gets back. Well, that's the beauty of these charms. They're teeny tiny. Like we have lots of things to show you. I have 4 charms in a 4x4 hoop that stitched, and I'm going to have 4 charms afterwards in a
E
tiny hoop. It's awesome. You don't need
exactly.
a big hoop.
And 2 was it's Alexandria, right? Look at
Yeah.
Alexandria, you could probably stitch those 4
Yeah.
all
Right.
in that 4x4
Yeah.
hoop.
And in fact, we really recommend that you use a smaller hoop because if you're trying to, and I know we're all tempted that maybe you have to make 2 dozen ornaments, right? 2 dozen charms. So you want to load up a great big hoop. Well, you can, but I'll tell you, you have better registration, meaning the outlines stay connected to the body of the embroidery design when you use a smaller hoop, because there's no fabric involved here. It's just sew and wash, the kind of mesh type of wash away stabilizer. So it doesn't have a lot of body. And, it wants to kind of shimmy its way between the inner and outer frame or the bottom and top frame of Snap Hoop Monster. But we do have a trick for that. But
That's right.
right,
That's right.
I know.
Now, Eileen, can I show you what I did with some of these?
Oh, I would love it. Yeah.
So I was like, these are these are the designs that that you get in the package, but they are so versatile and you can do so much with
Yeah.
them.
I
So
love
let's see first. So,
it. Okay.
you can take a lace design and you can stitch it directly on something. It doesn't all have to be freestanding lace. So those apple designs,
Mhm.
I just changed the color and I resized them again. And in the free embroidery tool shed, you could do that. And I stitched this directly on a napkin. And so you can do that with those designs.
Yeah.
Great for fall.
Right.
And you can even stitch them out as freestanding lace and then attach it to something. Look at this little bitty zippered bag. I don't want to
Yeah.
put that in a hoop. Even though I have a tubular machine, I don't even think I want to do that.
Right.
So I stitched out the holly leaves and just glued them on.
Oh,
And left the
you just
holly
glued
leaves,
them on.
just
That's
glued them on. I
brilliant.
just glued the berries on. So I still got
Yeah.
some dimension with
Sure.
the holly leaves. And
Oh,
so that's a great little gift.
right. A
And
festive little purse.
And of course, as you can see what I'm wearing now, put earring wires in those and make them in earrings. And that's
Yeah.
when you would want to stitch them out with the eyelet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But then check this out. Okay. I need something for my patio window
Okay.
for the holidays.
Uh-huh.
And so I enlarged the spider web,
Wow.
stitched it on mylar, and
Okay.
then stitched each of the Halloween decorations again on mylar.
Yeah.
Cute little kitty cat. And now I can hang this up
Ah,
on my
yeah.
patio door as kind of a, just a
Like,
little, please don't walk through the glass door,
please
but
don't walk
also
through
just
the glass door, right? And a sun catcher kind of feeling really very fun. Very, and with the
exactly.
Mylar, you get a lot of light that plays off of those shimmering surfaces. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. So in the dark, when it's not
Yeah.
sunlight out, you still get that light showing.
Yeah.
But then I love candles in some of the holiday tables.
Mhm.
And everybody's got, a candlestick with a candle holder, but why not take some of those lace charms and
Yeah.
decorate your candle decoration? So again, I'm going to do this. So you would just, I call it a candle collar. You just put it
Okay.
around the taper and
Yeah.
then you would put it in your candle so that it looks like, it's like that.
Yeah, it's like a garland, but here it
It's a
is,
garland.
you made it yourself, and if you have other items on the table, you're coordinating those threads, so everything is gonna match if that's your intention or, coordinate at least, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? Some of us may have some of these, garland candle collars that we
Yeah,
have, but maybe the decorations are a little ratty or you want
yeah,
something. Take those decorations off, sew up a number of these lace charms, and then just nestle them in that candle collar, and you've got
adorable.
your coordinated decoration.
So are
So
you gonna have a lot of pink in your holiday this year?
no, this is the extent of my pink. That's it.
You're a traditional girl, right?
I'm a red and green girl, so I
Yeah,
decorate a lot with
yeah.
poinsettias, so that's
Mhm.
it, but those that are trendy and, it doesn't look too bad, I wouldn't
I
mind
know,
it.
I
But
know.
I know, Eileen, that you've done a lot with
I
these
have.
lace charms. Let's see what
Okay.
you've done.
So let's go to the overhead over here. And well, one thing I really love is, one of our friends talked about the leaves and those maple leaves, they are precious. So we turned them into place card holders. So what we did was we purchased these little wooden block, and they have a slit in there for the name card. And then we just glued the leaf to the wood block. And now we have a whole set of them. Of course, we can change out the names depending on who's coming to the party, right?
Yeah?
And and then it's time to whether you're a pumpkin spice person or a ginger person. Well, that ginger man is adorable as a small adornment on a gift of cookies. Just wrap it with a little baker's twine. But I think one of my favorite things is here. Let's go back to PowerPoint so I can show you my little pie recipe card. So as you can see right there, look how cute that is. So it's a little book that I embroidered. And I used the charms to decorate it. So we have the maple leaf on the front and the apple inside, and then just the leaves of the apple adorn the back cover. And of course, I used I used word art and stitches to create that text. And, I gave the list of ingredients for both the crust and the filling. And then on how to assemble, well, it's kind of like the British baking show. Just, like put the apples into the crust and bake, right? They don't
It's
really
like,
give
yeah,
you details. So
like make a pie. Yeah.
make a pie, yeah, with apples. But anyway, you could take the time to really, first off, you could make it larger, so that if you really wanted to include all the steps, it is a lovely keepsake. If you're a guest at someone's home and you're bringing a pie and you want to share the recipe, what a lovely thing to do as a gift, right, Aine?
It absolutely is. And
So
that is adorable. Now, Eileen, did you stitch that on fabric?
I did, on
Okay.
just cotton quilting fabric. In fact, that's Moda's Grunge, because I always like a little texture.
Mm-hmm.
And I hooped it with cutaway stabilizer. And of course, I laid out the design so that, there would be a front cover and a back cover, but it's all one piece of fabric, 8 by 8. And then stitch the design. And right before I take it out of the hoop, I place another piece of fabric right sides together, stitches the outline, leaves an opening, turn it and all that. And boy, super cute, right?
So it is one of those stitch and turns. That is just
stitch and turn, really fun. And then I, was so in love with those leaves that I went a step further and I made like a leaf bowl. So I took a fish bowl and shaped the leaves around it. And so I have that over there to show you just exactly how it came out. I am really thrilled with it. So here's my fish bowl, right? Of course, now we have it decorated. But basically, you're going to stitch all your leaves flat. And I have that stitched out here. You're going to stitch them all flat. Now, I did go and make a shape in the center, and that's lace. So it's just like a circle. If you didn't have digitizing software and you just purchased our lace design, you could use tulle or netting and place that down first and then just trim it away after you stitch those first leaves. But after you have this done, you then, take those leaves, rinse away the excess and shape it over the bowl. You turn this upside down and, I'll teach that whole project later on in another class, but oh my goodness, isn't that fun? What a lovely accent on a table. And Aine, we could have done this with, Christmas, any of those Christmas charms, right?
yes, absolutely. So I'm looking at, you did it with the maple leaves, but think
Yes.
about doing this with, there's a holly leaf
Right.
charm in there.
Right. Just beautiful. And, I had a lot of fun. I did do it on a multi-needle machine, so that was a little bit easier for me. And, changing colors, just making sure the colors were kind of spread out all over my canvas and not repeated right next to each other. And I think that adds a nice touch to it. Now, because I was on a multi-needle, I didn't change my bobbin thread. I just used white bobbin. But if this was, something for a centerpiece, maybe I would go to that trouble. But here, I do have some Christmas ideas to show. So let's go ahead and get that up here so I can show you those ideas. Well, first off, it's so fun to just adorn a simple gift bag, right? With a charm. So simple. Now, this little clip, my goodness, I just found this in a craft store, like a Hobby Lobby or Joann's. And here, it's just a clip. And it has this little loop on the end. It kind of reminds me of mittens. Remember how we used to keep mittens together, Aine, when we were kids? And so, I just clipped it onto the bag. And now that's a really nice decoration for a simple bag. Adds, a lot to it. So what else do we have? Well, speaking of ornaments, we most certainly do have them in ornament style with lots of rhinestones. And then here we have a pin. So here's a decorative holly leaves that I glued to a pin back. And, you can wear that, just pin it on your garment. It's so lightweight. So if you're wearing something that's maybe slinky or, really loose and flowing and you don't want to put a piece of heavy jewelry on it, then this would be a good alternative, I think. And earrings. I think we both love the snowflakes, right, Aine?
Yes,
Aren't they
yes,
so fun? Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but I wanted to show our friends that the difference, when you use our embroidery tool shed, which is available for free to everyone, then you have the ability to resize these charms without any losing any integrity of the embroidery design, because these designs were made in our software. So when you use our native format, which is C2S, in embroidery tool shed, you can make that a lot larger. So look, that's about 30% larger, right?
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
also, Eileen, in embroidery tool shed, because I noticed on your leaf bowl, you did an excellent use of colors to bring out the veining in the leaves, and it
Right.
just makes those leaves. And you guys, you
Yeah.
can use embroidery tool shed to audition some of those colors
Yep.
right there on your screen. Now, again, it's not going to be your thread color; it's going to be, on your computer monitor,
Yeah.
but you get a really good idea of
Mhm.
how dramatic those look.
Right. And if I had to do this again, maybe I wouldn't do those tone on tones, right?
Mhm.
Like out here, I mean, they're okay, but these really catch the eye.
They
The,
really do. They
the
really do.
yellow and red, and even the greens and gold. So, that's always something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And then you and I both fell in love with those mittens. So I have to share, the this little gift bag. So this is a wooden spoon that I stood up in melted chocolate and then froze that so that it would stay in that position. And then we have some peppermints and chocolate chips. And this is a gift that you give to someone who loves hot chocolate. And they just, warm up some milk and then stir with this chocolate spoon. Oh my, that's kind of heavenly, right?
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, what
Yeah.
an absolutely wonderful idea. I mean, think of how great that gift is for
Yeah.
everybody that you need that little present for at
Yeah.
Christmas time.
Right. It's not complicated. And then of course the mittens. I mean, that just really makes it. And when you give it to someone and it has that extra little decoration on it, it's really special. And I
Absolutely.
too use that variegated thread like you did, and it does look like it's knit, right? So
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that
it
amazing?
is
Because you know
amazing.
what? To the variegated thread, we all have it, and most of the time it just sits in our drawer and we forget to use it. You
Yeah.
guys, here's the
Right.
perfect opportunity.
Right, we totally forget to use it. So,
Yeah.
that's really I just had so much fun making all those little things, I like working in my kitchen, so it was, a great way to combine my 2 loves, right?
I know. I'm telling you, I can't stop making these. I can't
Yeah,
stop making
I
these.
know,
So,
they're really fun. But,
yeah.
you talked about, so let's talk about hooping, because that is a little bit of a challenge. So let's see. Well, first let's answer Cindy's, question. So she says, when you resize a design in the ETS, can it be saved? Oh, absolutely. And that's a great question, Cindy, because what you'll do is in Embroidery Toolshed, you'll open the charm in the C2S format, and then you'll make your changes. And then you'll go to File, Save As, and save it in your machine format. So if you're a Genome user, you'll select JEF and rename it, right? Like if it's the Ginger Man and you blew him up, just add an LG at the end, something like that. Or name it after the project that you're making, or maybe the person that you're making it for. So, yeah, that's a very good question. Mhm. And let's see, Annette Yeager, Annette Yeager, we know Annette. She does make fantastic earrings, and every day she works here in my building. She works for Dime, and every day she comes in with earrings, and they're almost different every single day. Just saying, but we noticed, right?
Yeah, they are gorgeous. They
Talk
are.
about addicting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Okay, so what else do we have? What other questions do we have before we get into hooping? All right. Well, they really love them. They think they're so fun. That's great. That's really great. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So Aim, shall I show the hooping and then you'll show mylar, or how do you want to throw that?
That's perfect. You go
Okay.
to hooping. Yeah.
Okay. So I have already stitched mine. Well, let me get my shield, because I tell everybody you have to use the shield. Now, I will tell you, most people don't use Snap Hoop Monster for lace making, but I actually do. I use my hoops all the time. but I cheat. And this is really great advice for standard hoops also. So notice these pins that I have outside of my frames, right? They're right next to that Snap Hoop Monster frame. And I have them all the way around. And what that does is that keeps the stabilizer from shrinking into the sewing field. And then most likely these outlines could possibly become misaligned. So that's my secret. Now look, I have 4 of those holly designs in a 4x4 hoop. If I was going to do 6, I would maybe go to a 5x7, but that would probably be it. Now, when I stitched this was an 8x8 hoop, and you know, all the registrations did line up. Everything is fine, but that's a lot of expanse of, you know, water soluble stabilizer. So I usually like to err on smaller. Okay, so let's see. And Barbara George wants to know, do you include the C2S format with designs, or do you need to convert to it? No, we absolutely, all of our collections here at Dime include the C2S format. That's what we digitize in. And when you purchase our program, you get our collection, you get an install, and then you tell it where if you want to add a machine format. But C2S loads all the time. So yeah. And Alexandria says these would be great for craft fairs. Absolutely. These are all really good ideas for craft fairs, or, you know, gifts that you have to make in multiples, right? Like if you have a book club that maybe you're a part of, or quilting friends, you know, so it's really fun to do that. Yeah. Okay. So Aine, how do we do it with mylar? Because one of our friends asked, oh, you can add mylar to freestanding lace. So why don't you show them?
I will. That's great. So let me go to my camera here, and I'll just show you, remember, in this dangler that I made, see the sparkle and shine?
Yeah.
That's all mylar underneath there. And even in the little danglers is mylar. So it's a great way to get sparkle and shine, that iridescent color. And lace designs are made from mylar, because mylar designs mostly have a very loose, you know, not very dense fill stitch. And that's what allows that mylar, that sparkle and shine, to show through. And so they are so easy to do with lace designs. So just like you would start with hooping 2 layers of a mesh type of water soluble stabilizer. We know that there's a film type, and that's like saran wrap, but this is kind of feels more like fabric. And I know that I'm going to stitch 4 of these bells right in there. So I'm just going to cut a piece of mylar, which is just a plastic film. You can see how shiny it is. And I'm just going to lay that right on top of my hoop. And if I wanted to, I could just tape the edges. Don't use that temporary spray adhesive. What that's going to do is that's going to cloud your mylar and ruin it. And you also have to, you know, you have to tear this off at a certain stage, and you won't be able to do that. So maybe just a little bit, a clip that's well outside the sewing field, to just keep it in place so that when the air conditioner or the heater comes off, it just doesn't go flying. So then you load that on your machine, and you're just going to stitch the portions of the design. And like I said, I'm stitching these bells, and you're going to stitch just right on the mylar. Now, in this particular design, I stitched the bells, you know, the metal portion of the bells, but I don't want mylar behind the bow. I want that to feel a little bit more fabric. So I stopped the machine, and I'm going to take this off the machine. And now I'm going to just simply pull the mylar up, because the needle perforations in the steel stitches and the satin stitches on the edge are enough to perforate the mylar. So it tears up just that easily and just that cleanly. I'm not unhooping. I'm just going to take this off the machine and tear that mylar up, put it back on the machine, and then finish stitching the bows, and they look absolutely gorgeous. So that's how easy it is to do.
Yeah, it is absolutely just beautiful, and I love how you only put it behind the metal part, right, of the
Yeah,
bells.
yeah.
Yeah. So Mindy Richter, she wants to know, do you need to have my lace maker to use these designs? Nope, you don't. Not at all. If you have it, that's great because then you can do more with the charms if you'd like, but you don't need it at
Mhm.
all. And one of our friends said that Mary, she only stitches in PES, that she doesn't do any changing with software. Well, you don't have to change anything. When you do the install, you can just select the format that you'd like. But if you want that freedom, then you most certainly can use our free software. And I'll go ahead and bring that up in just a moment. Linda wants to know, where can our Canadian friends purchase? Well, it's a download, so you can purchase on our website, and boom, you'll be stitching before we say goodbye. Thanks for joining
Yes,
us today, right?
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Mhm. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so and then Linda wants to know, what part of tool shed is needed to stitch just a part of a design, if you only want to stitch part of a design. So let's go ahead into embroidery tool shed, and and so if you'll see that I have it up there. Why is that? No. Okay, so let's back out of that just for a minute and see if I can change my share screen, and we'll do stop sharing, and then we'll reshare so that you can take a look at how to do that. Because, I think that it is really important for all of us to know that, we have all this freedom. And, when you use a free download program like Embroidery Toolshed, you're going to be able to do a lot more than you ever thought you could. Okay, so now
Right.
if you'll bring us up, that should make it. There we go. So here's my gingerbread man. The original size is on the left, and here I'll just select my gingerbread, and so you can see what size he is. And his height is only 2.32. Perfect for many applications. Like if you're going to wear them as earrings, you probably don't want them bigger than that. But when I was adorning my cookies, I most certainly wanted to be a little bit larger. So I blew it up to 2.76. So, just by selecting the design and then dragging that corner, and notice how everything has enlarged just as I had hoped it would. It's also changing the stitch count. So it's adding designs as I pull it out. And then when I shrink it down, it's going to pull out designs. Now, these are small designs, so I really wouldn't go smaller, right, Aine?
Mm.
Because
Right.
now your
Yeah.
satins are just going to jump up on top of each other. But, so you have to have a little, um, just a little embroidery smarts, right?
Yeah.
You have to think it through. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Okay. So let's see. Oh, and Chris Kavanaugh says she loves the puppy wall hanging behind you, Aine. Let's see. And Julie wants to know, how much bigger can you make the charms? Well, let's see. I mean, really, bigger is fine. Bigger is fine. So let me just I got a lot of computer power going on here.
Yeah.
So look how big that is. Now, what's going to happen? In my eyelet is going to turn into a split satin, meaning it's going to fill the space, but instead of one needle pass from inner to outer of the eyelet, it's now going to do it in like two passes and overlap them. And that's called a split satin. And the software is smart enough to know to do that because your machine will not allow you to stitch that wide of a stitch. So, they all talk to each other. They're so brilliant, right, Aine?
Correct. And another option when you do the enlarge, because I've enlarged these designs 200% and stitched out without a problem.
Yeah.
But one thing that you can do in this software in Toolshed is that if you'll notice that the eyelet is a separate stitch segment.
Yep.
So I would lock that and leave
Yeah.
it that same size and then enlarge everything else.
Oh, that's excellent. Yep, I should know better than that. I'm not so sure you can do that in the free program, though, Aine.
Yeah, quite.
So
And that's what I would have to check. Maybe you can,
Yeah.
maybe,
Mhm.
yeah.
But it's
But in
very good advice. So here, let's back out. I could just go to undo. See, my satin now is beautiful. So now I'll select my satin and I'll go over here to the color sequence window and I'll click on that padlock. And that padlock means it's locked and nothing is going to change. And then, see, I can't even select it because it's locked. And now when I enlarge that gingerbread man, he is, he's bigger, but my eyelid is not. And now I'll unlock him and I'll center him over my gingerbread. Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that great? Well, you'd spend a little bit more time doing that properly. So you can do all this resizing. You can print a template in our free embroidery tool shed. But if you want to do some of those other techniques like lettering or, working in individual colors, then you do need our Word Art and Stitches or My Quilt Planner or Perfect Embroidery Pro, right? Those programs would give you all that freedom to do. And they're pretty reasonable. Or My Lace Maker. Can any lace design be changed or does it have to be a dime design? Well, Kathy, that's a good question. In Embroidery Toolshed, you can resize any design, but there are limitations. So that should be 20% smaller or larger. And in the C2S format, which you're calling a dime design, that's what gives you the total freedom of 200% or whatever it is. So that's the difference. Yep. Okay. Aine, I know you have an appointment at 1 o'clock that a class that you're teaching. So I have to let you go while I talk about rinsing the stabilizer and doing rhinestones, right?
Yes, thank you for reminding me that of Eileen, because I've had so much fun here. I totally forgot that, hey, I got to do another show in a few minutes here. So, Eileen, thank you so much for having me. I love these charms. They are just something that I've enjoyed so much over the years. And I know that everyone else is going to enjoy these new charms also.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Aine, for sharing your expertise, your beautiful samples, and it's always fun to visit with you. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.
All righty. Bye. Isn't she great? She's just the best. She really is. Okay, so now let's talk about rinsing, because rinsing is how we get rid of that water-soluble stabilizer. And sometimes we want our lace charms to be really soft and fluid, and sometimes we want them to keep shape, like that lace leaf bowl that I made. Well, we need some rigidity to those leaves. And it's all about the temperature of the water that you rinse it in that will either completely dissolve it away or leave some in there just to give you some rigidity. So let's go to the overhead cam and I'll bring some water in and I'll just kind of go ahead and give that a little. First I want to I want to cut these out to show you how we do that. So I'm going to pull out my pins, get rid of them. Notice I used a combination of T-pins, flower head pins, kind of what I had on hand. So you don't have to go out and get the brand new T-pins or whatever. And of course, now I'm trying to separate the top from the bottom, which is always my biggest challenge. And we just slide, right? That's the best way to do it. So let's get that hoop under control and out of the way. And then we are just going to trim out my leaves, my holly leaves. And, it's good to trim right next to them because you want to dissolve as little as possible. And I'll also tell you that if you hold on to this excess stabilizer, we're going to have a pretty large piece, albeit with a hole in the center from where we cut out this lace, but you can use this to add rigidity to some lace that maybe you rinsed too hot, right? And then it's too weak. So we're going to just slice them all apart. And I'll show you first in a bowl of water that's just kind of right out of the tap, just room temperature. So I have my little gun, my little temperature gun. So let's go ahead and see what that temperature is. So it's 71 degrees, right? Not very warm at all. And so when I put it in there, it does not really want to dissolve. So you can still see the film is here, right? You can see that film is still there. That's all right. We'll leave it in there for a little bit, and we'll let that just soak for a minute. And I'm going to go get my totally tubular station so I can get up a little closer for you so you can get a better look at the rinsing, because when we get that hot water in there, it's going to go away so fast. Wait till you see. So there we go. So as you can see, now it's starting to come apart, right? And I can actually pull that away so that it's all gone. I could brush it with my fingers or just let it sit a little longer. And now it has dissolved. So when I dry this, because it was in cold water, it's going to be very stiff. And sometimes that's desirable, right? So place that on a paper towel or on a terry cloth, well, not terry cloth, because that has a little too many fibers, but like a linen towel would work well. All right, so that was my tap water, room temperature. So now I have water that I've heated up in an electric kettle, and we'll pour that in there. And so you can see the steam coming off, right? Can you see that steam? It's hot. It's really hot. So let's see how hot it is. So that's 187 degrees. So that's pretty hot. So now I'm going to take the other holly leaf, and look, gone instantly. Totally gone. Can you see that? Isn't that amazing? Just by temperature. And now if I want the rigidity, I would leave it just like that. But if I really want it to be loose, like if it's something I'm putting on a garment and I want it to be really drapey, then I would just, continue to let it sit. And then you can shape it. Well, you can also shape the others. You can shape these too, and they'll dry in that form. So that's all you got to do is just go ahead and dip that in there. I love it. It's so much fun. Of course, now it's in really hot water. So we need to get some tweezers to pull that out. That's probably the best way to do it. Or just let it soak a little bit. So that was 187 degrees. You don't have to use a thermometer to, figure that out. Just hot water. Be careful with your hands, that you're not burning yourself. So, yeah. And let's see, Reen Wilcoxon, she dries her freestanding lace on a baker's rack. I do the same thing. That's very good advice. And but sometimes I'm shaping it, so I shape it around that. And when I shape it, like around that bowl, that fish bowl that I showed you, I wrap the fish bowl in saran wrap and then shape over that. And then that way it's, easy to remove later on. Okay, so now let's bling it up. Let's go ahead and do some rhinestones, right? Okay, well, I survived the hot water. I'm impressed. Are you impressed? Here, we'll just leave that up here. We'll move this. That's probably better. Okay. And for the rhinestones, I have a fun little tool for you. So first off, I'm going to use my Sally Tomato board, right? We all know these. So why am I using this? Well, I'm using this because the boards are the same height. And they're not real tall. They're just skinny, but it doesn't really matter. And now I'm going to get my little iron. Okay, so these irons, you see these everywhere, right? And I'm going to take that iron and I'm going to place it in the Sally Tomato board upside down. Okay, and it is on and it's hot, so I got to be careful and work this cord. Okay, so we just want to make sure that I'm level, right? That's really all I want to do. There we go. That's pretty level. And then I'm going to take my rhinestones. And this is just a fast way to do rhinestones so that you don't have to, of course, now I have water-soluble stabilizer on my tweezers. We knew that was going to happen, right? How many of you are at home saying, oh, they're going to be all gunky and sticky? Yeah. That's okay. We'll get through it. Okay, now I got to pick these up, these little rhinestones. This is why, I love using the cutter. Okay, and I'm going to place it right side down. Okay, I might need another hand. So let's do this. We'll take this pin and we're going to leave that. Oh, come on, everybody, just cooperate. Well, now it's hot and it's sticky. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. These are small little rhinestones. And there we go. Come on, stay there. Why won't it behave, right? Why won't it behave? There we go. Okay, so right side down, glue side up. That's what's happening here. Right side down, glue side up. And my iron is heating up the glue so that I can then just pick them up once they are. This is comical. Oh my goodness. This is definitely why you want to use a digital cutter. Oh my goodness. I can't believe how difficult they are to handle. All right. Oh. If I was trying to get to do that, it wouldn't do it. We might just have to be really happy with 2 of the rhinestones. But boy, I'll tell you, I used to do this all the time because before you could cut it on a digital cutter, that's how we had to do it, right? Or we could use the wand, but those wands, they take forever, right? Okay, so now I have my little charm and I want to add my rhinestone to it. So I'm just going to flip that over and center it, and then it'll stay in place because that glue is all heated. And I might want to press that down. There we go. Give it a little pressure, right? Glue loves pressure. And you can see that the glue kind of has to bubble. And if it hasn't bubbled, oh, there we go. It's bubbling on my iron. And then we'll just place that down. And again, I'll give it a little bit of pressure with the back of my tweezers. But I'll tell you, this technique on an iron has saved me an awful lot of time instead of using that tiny little wand. I mean, you probably don't believe me because this has been a little tedious. But now you might find that your iron has some hot spots and some cool spots. Like I think I found a cool spot on that iron, and that's why that one crystal was not heating up. So we'll just give it a minute. But that's how you could do it. So much fun. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, you're all getting it. You're loving it, right? Live TV. I'm glad you put that in quotes, Donna, because, you know, it's not exactly TV, but it is live. It is live for sure. And I appreciate you all laughing with me. Oh, my goodness, right? You can't make this stuff up. I couldn't plan it if I tried to, that's for sure. And is my iron on high? Well, Barbara, it should be on high. But truth be told, I was afraid I would burn myself on camera, so I didn't put it on high. If I had put it on high, maybe the adhesive would be melting a little bit quicker. So yes, but it should be on high. But, you know, I was trying to set myself up to be a little safe here. But anyway. Alexandria, she says she's loving the show. It's her first time here. Oh, well, I hope you come back. We're always, you know, trying to offer inspiration. And often, you know, we have moments like that. We have lots of blooper film. I'll tell you, lots of blooper film. But we love what we do. And we hope that you do too, because it's super fun. Let's see. Yeah, Joyce, it is an alternate way of using rhinestones. I can tell you it's easier with rhinestones that are a little bit bigger, you know, of course. These are 10 SS, whatever that size really, you know, in the rhinestone world, that's how they're sold. So they're pretty petite, but they're also the perfect size for the charms, right? They're the perfect size because we don't want really, really big ones. So don't they look lovely? I mean, they really do adorn that. And I have one that's finished, thanks heavens, or you would never believe me that, you know, they came out so well because they really do look nice when they're done. Here we have, here you can see, isn't that fun? There's, I mean, and on the tree, you know, they just catch your eye and add a little sparkle. So super fun. Okay, let's see. Donna Marie Smith says, yeah, you are learning from my bloopers. Happy to provide that education. It's all fun. It's all fun. Next week, we have a great program next week. We have, Ashley is going to be here, and she's going to be sharing all about a new product. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be really great. So let's see. These are on special today, $39.99. This is our brand new collection. We hope you take advantage of it. There's something in there for all the holidays, and it's a download. So if you purchase now, you can be stitching in seconds. And Reen Wilcoxon, our good friend over at Embroidery Garden, she says these would be so cute as ornaments on a mini tree, for sure, you know, and a lot of people are embracing the mini tree, you know, maybe retiring that giant 6, 7, 8 footer and going to a smaller tabletop decoration. And these are just great for that, for sure. Plus all the other ways that we showed you, you could use them as embellishments on your gift giving. So on November 7th, Ashley Jones is going to be teaching creating custom quilting designs. You know, we decided that it would be a good time of year to start talking about that because, you know, many of you are rushing maybe to finish quilts for the Christmas people on your gift list. So she's going to help you, you know, figure out how to finish it and really quilt it and get it done. And that's on November 7th. So we hope that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you like us on Facebook, because when you do that, we know we're giving you the content that you want. And if you don't know when we're going live, then please follow along. Watch for how you can do that.
In this video, we'll show you how to subscribe to a YouTube channel and follow a Facebook page through your phone. Let's start with YouTube. First, open your YouTube app on your phone. Once you're on your home page, search for the Designs in Machine Embroidery in the search bar at the top of the screen. Click on it and go to the channel page. Once on the channel page, click the subscribe button. And that's it. You're now subscribed to the channel. Now, let's move on to Facebook. First, open your Facebook app. Once on your home page, search for Designs in Machine Embroidery in the search bar at the top of the screen. Once on the profile page, click the 3 dots and select the follow button. And that's it. You're now following the page. Thanks for watching.
So Marjorie Hirschberger, she just said that she purchased and she's ready to stitch. Oh, I love hearing that. Well, we can't wait to see what you've been stitching. And as you know, on the house is our free design. Last week we had Hello Christmas, I think it was, right? So super fun. And so if you would, if we haven't seen your design, then this is how you can share your designs.
We would love to see any creations you all make with our free on the house designs. To do that, we have to be able to find your designs first. Go to Facebook and create a new post for your latest project. Make sure that your post is set to public view and add a quick description and photo of what you've made. Now the important part, adding your hashtags. You're going to want to use hashtag on the house, hashtag dime sew along, and hashtag exquisite thread. And that's it. Now you can click post.
Super fun. So Teresa Slavanowski said, you know, what kind of stabilizer did we use for all this freestanding lace? Well, we used 2 layers of exquisite sew and wash. And sew and wash is obviously wash away, right? But it's kind of mesh-like. It's not film-like, like a water-soluble topper. So this has more body, and it's going to be able to withstand all those satin stitches and so forth. So we hope that you take advantage of that. Okay, so this week's On the House is the turkey. You know, my good friend Deborah Jones, she's the one who selects these designs and oversees the digitizing, and she always does such a great job. So we love to see the Halloween and Thanksgiving flair that she's brought us all fall. So I think you'll enjoy this really fun Thanksgiving design. And Ashley will be here next week. 2 weeks after that, I'll be joining you live from Houston at Houston Quilt Festival, and I'll give you a tour of the show and the competition. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for joining me today.